Hey fuckers, it's Friday.
Can't spell shattered without shat or turd.
Like a gut punch to the abdomen.
Some of the funniest shit on the web.
I call it a rock Fred.
I like the cut of your jib, gentlemen.
These 5 are the only protection we have.
The best part of this show is the genuine Hasbro love.
Good night, folks.
And of course, Pat's weekly farts.
Breaking news. It's very outside of the box.
I
love Friday. Bob's Bait and Tackle, now carrying Hasbro.
They truly are your favorite podcast.
Thoughts, prayers, likes, and shares. Shardouts. A to B.
Uncut. Is that you? Shardouts.
When are you going to bring Larry back?
My favorite Star Wars podcast.
Shattered cast on
Complete fuckers. This podcast is intended for mature audiences only, and its sole purpose is to entertain. If it doesn't fit with your sensitive sensibilities, please feel free to turn it off now and
Shut the fuck up, Chip.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Shattercast Uncut, episode 337. That's right, we are 337 years old. My, how the time has gone by. I'm your host, Oscar Alonso, and I'm also that guy that tells you to lean in the coffin because somebody smells like they died. Joining me tonight are two of the Furious Four. First off, he is everybody's favorite internet personality. He is your favorite admin and mine. He's also a big fan of being the little spoon as long as you've been working out. The one and only Mr. Greg Ford. Mercy.
Why do you host this show like it's a Hasbro figure? You're always getting everything wrong and fucking
That
up.
is seriously offensive. Like, why would you say that to me? Like, you know how hard I worked to build this personality? Do you know what I've done to get this personality? How many people have fucking died so I get this personality? Dígame.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, speaking of this guy normally says it when he's done building something pretty cool. He is the smartest Transformer fan ever. Just don't bother Googling it because you just got to get someone else. And in reality, this guy really is the smartest Transformer fan in history. The one, the only, the engineer, Mr. T2RX6, Justin.
Yay, it's me. Hello, everybody.
Yay. So, it's been a heck of a week. Everyone's feeling good. You know, Robert can't join us tonight. He's having some serious technical difficulties. As it stands, he's trying to resolve it. So. Blood orgies.
We tried to tell him that's not really a technical difficulty, but he didn't want to listen. So, that's what happens.
So going on with anybody getting anything? Justin.
Let's see. I did not get Transformers, so sorry to disappoint. But people don't produce Transformers I want anymore, it seems. Does anybody else feel that way too? Like lately, like there's just like in the ways of new stuff, there's just not that much coming out anymore. Like
I do sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, it just feels like it's very.
I feel like they're
anymore. Like
it feels like they're pulling very old hat.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, like it like definitely feels like G1 is pretty much like set sail in the ways of third party. Like there just hasn't been that much. So, which is fine. Yeah. I mean, I can take some breaks. I know Fans Toys Magnum just hit, and I will have mine sometime soon. So that'll be nice. But in ways of things I got this week, which was long roundabout way of getting to this point. I got the re-released. I don't think they were Walmart. Maybe they were Walmart exclusives. The classic Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters. So I got all 4 of them because I actually, of the actual real Ghostbusters as a kid, like I had a bunch of the ones that had like the little like squeeze their arm and leg and they did like weird like face bugging out, but I never had more than just Egon in the, you know, just like the standard Ghostbuster. So I got all 4 of them. Because I still have a pretty minty Firehouse and Ecto one. Like mine is not yellowed at all like some of the ones I've seen. So I treasure that thing. And I was like, this deserves to have 4 actual Ghostbusters. So I picked them up.
Good.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
So that was my toy purchase. And then I got a steal online for a PlayStation VR. And I've been enjoying that and having some fun with that. So
how's that going?
It's pretty fun. I was hesitant to get into it because, like, I don't usually get sick with motion games, but, like, I've definitely, like, you know, like the Samsung Galaxy VR thing you could buy, like, you know, it was relatively inexpensive intro to VR, and you just kind of slapped your phone on front of your face and stuff. Like messing with that, which I got with one of my old phones, like some things did definitely make me sick feeling. But this has been fine. Like I haven't had any problems with it, to be honest with you. So yeah, I've been enjoying it so far. It's a lot of fun to mess with, and I had most of the stuff I needed for it, like the PlayStation Move controllers from a PlayStation 3 that I've had for a long time now. And so like when I saw this deal online that it was like, I think it was like $115 for the VR unit with the camera and the processor. Like, but it has no Move controllers. I'm like, well, I got those. That's a good deal. Why not? Worst case scenario, I'll turn around and sell these with these Move controllers and make a profit off of it. So
yeah. Did you get it off eBay?
Yeah, got it off eBay. So it was a good deal. I quite enjoy it. So, and that is all I got this week. But nonetheless, I'm happy with it. So.
Good. All right.
Yeah.
What about you, Greg? What'd you get this week?
Well,
I'm glad you asked me.
Did I get a Transformer? Oh yeah. I got my KFC cast off.
Which one's cast off?
The one with the power shoulder pads.
What's his G1 character?
Background junkie on number 3.
Oh, okay. I feel like you could be, you know, what you say, the G1 character with the power shoulders like that didn't limit it very much.
I don't know why when you said power shoulders, I thought of Cable from back when Rob Liefeld used to draw him.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the one that's retroactively called Recycle. Granted, I guess all the parts are interchangeable, so it doesn't really. Anyway, yeah, he's okay. I'm about to sneeze. Hold on.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Oh, coronavirus. Did you say bless you or I love you?
Both.
Bless you.
Oh, good. That's what it sounded like.
I love you. I said it grossly.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm shopping for some cologne as we record, and it's already making me sneeze. But I'm trying to hit that free shipping on the order. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So he comes with a net, and going back and looking at pictures, it's just really weird. It's just the way they had to cut it out, like to enhance the photo. But I was expecting like this cheap, flimsy cloth thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually like screen door mesh. But it makes sense because it's malleable. So you can like actually use it like as an accessory and not just have it hanging in there all limp.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I still haven't transformed it. I started to the other night and I was tired, so I undid the couple of steps I did and put them back down and went to bed instead. But there's definitely some differences, so I'm wondering how it's going to work.
Cool.
But and then so yeah, it was okay. It was about what I expected it to be. I mean, he'll make a fine Junkion. You know, I still think it's a good figure. I still think it's a good mold. And then speaking of freedom, I got a G.I. Joe Classified Duke.
Nice.
And that is a I think this line's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a fun. So just little things about it, like that hip ball joint or the waist ball joint. The drop down to give you the extra little bit of leg articulation. The way the neck's done, so it's like a ball, and a hinge. It gives you like a little bit extra, that little bit of a butterfly. How one wrist pivots up and down, and one goes in and out, so you can like hold guns two-handed a lot more naturally. And like he's just really fun.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a pretty good figure. So I should have Destro tomorrow. I got Cobra Commander already paid for. and I'll probably pick up Black and Scarlet in the next day or two. I just haven't gone on Amazon to grab them. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see what they announce on Friday. There's supposed to be some Pulse announcement Friday around noon for G.I. Joe, but I think they're just gonna probably publicly reveal the retro series that's showing up at distribution centers, which the theory on that speculation are reissues of the old school figures with like O-rings
the
and
like
stuff.
new 3 3/4 or something that they were
but like
people talking about.
Yeah, but people seem to think it's going to be like O-ring builds because they're doing that with a lot of stuff, and like the G1 reissues, and the way they're doing those He-Man.
That's kind of cool because I could see picking up some of those like characters, like especially ones that I like really loved as a kid, like to have like a pristine copy of now. Like that'd be pretty cool. Okay.
Yeah, and some of the ones I didn't get to grab.
Yeah.
Because I had there weren't that many Joes I was missing, but there were enough that the ones I was missing were ones that like I never really got the chance to get again. Like they were like I either never saw them or I saw them as they were on their way out the door. Like that was the last that was the last shipment of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, a couple of Dreadnoks and figures like that from like the first couple of assortments.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So, yeah,
I'm down.
I'm
I
down.
think it's cool when they release these old classic toys, like even the Ghostbusters and stuff. Like I was happy with that. I'm like, that's just a nice thing to see having come about, you know. So.
Well, and like I said, if they had Egon, I would have picked up the whole set when I saw it last week. But that was the make it or break it. When I saw them, I was like, if they got all 4, I'll get them, and they only had the 3. So
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, like if I could not have ordered all 4 of them on Walmart.com, I would have probably just passed too. So.
And that's it.
Because I always feel like if you don't get them all like right away, it's like I'm never gonna find the last one like at a price that I'm willing to pay for it. So I'll just have a bunch of them I don't really need, you know.
Yeah, or I worry that maybe I'll lose interest or not lose interest, but I'll get sidetracked. I'll get sidetracked with something else, and then just be like, yeah, I'll pick it up later. And then pretty soon, like there's nothing but Ray Stance.
Yeah.
On the shelf.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's all I got. I should have a couple of things I thought I would have by now, but I should have them by the next time we record. That I'm looking forward to. Transformers related. Yeah.
Right on,
man.
Right on. Wire free bird.
Right on.
Oh, are you ready, Justin?
I'm always ready.
All right, so what I get this week? I got. I
wasn't ready
Justin
for that.
and I made a trade. Sorry. Justin and I did a trade this week. I sent him a bunch of stuff. He sent me a bunch of stuff. But I also made a big purchase. I finally got a set I've been having my eye on because I'm a big fan of the IDW design of characters. So I picked up Justin's Transform Mission Stunnicon set.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm very happy with it. I think it's gorgeous. I'm glad I have them now. So yeah, I think really, really fun set. Except I was telling Justin about Dead End, where essentially his combine mode is you're taking the rear of the car and mounting it on the roof. And there's like 70 fucking steps to get there when it should just be like 5 or 6, I swear to God. But nevertheless, it's a great set. It's fun. I love it. He is shorter than my Bruticus by like a head and a half. And that's fine. I have my Unique Toys Bruticus. And I finally have my freaking Unique Toys Blast Off Brood Lash Layer, whatever his name is, on his way from Big Bad Toy Store. I got him on sale for like $69.99. So very psyched about that. And that'll be here. Well, this is Big Bad Toy Store, so It'll probably take 2 weeks to get here.
Never.
It'll get here never. It'll never come. But so that's on its way. So I'll finally complete my Unique Toys Brutica set. So that's going to be really exciting. But also in the trade I got with Justin was I got the Mech Fans Toys Devastator. They knocked off the DX9 Hulky set. Finally got it combined. I am never separating it again. It doesn't look that bad. It's not horrible. I got a bunch of Mech Fans Toys Seekers, the 3 Seekers, and of course the 3 Cone Heads. The Cone Heads are great. I love them. The Seekers, Starscream and Skywarp had their problems. Like Skywarp had a bum hinge on one of his like tail fins that assemble on the back, but I compressed it with a pair of pliers, so now it's no longer a problem for now. And Thundercracker actually is cake, and recent events like Thundercracker is my favorite Seeker, so it's nice to have him in good shape. So that's what I got this week, and currently waiting on special delivery on Friday. It looks like it's getting here, and I'll be able to talk about that next week on the show.
Are you having a baby?
Me? No, I'm not having a baby. Silly.
Yeah.
Kind of sound like it. Special delivery.
Yeah, it sounded like it.
No,
We'll
stop
talk
it.
about it Friday.
Oh, no. Anyway, so moving on to our news for today. We finally...
I got one thing I just thought about. I got a Chuckle shirt. I found a shirt that kind of looks like a real-life version of Chuckles from G.I. Joe shirt.
Nice.
So I picked it up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's really hard to find Hawaiian-style shirts right now, apparently, with the whole Boogaloo thing going on.
You should wear that shirt when you grow your mustache back and wear that Kangol hat.
No.
You look amazing. You look amazing.
Oh.
You look like an off-duty Miami Vice cop.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Probably shouldn't go with that outfit nowadays. But anyway,
I was just I was reading I was catching up my old Marvel G.I. Joe comics the last couple of days just for shits and giggles. I've been meaning to reread them, and now with the G.I. Joe hype, like I was kind of in the mood for it. And
that Cobra Commander looks pretty good. I mean, I have no, I love G.I. Joe, but after that Snake Eyes, it's, I don't know, like.
Yeah, I wish I grabbed that from you instead of the one from Pulse.
Say what?
I wish I had grabbed that from you instead of the one from Pulse, because then I would have it by now.
You were actually going to be the first person I asked, but you said in our chat that yours is on its way. Mm-hmm. So, but I did sell it to KJ Smith, who is a listener. So thank you, KJ, and I'm glad KJ's happy with it. And I just want to take a moment to give a shout out to Eddie Dustmites from Enter the Realm. On occasion, he does message me and tells me how much he loves the show. He loves the Sencho bits. Much love to you, Eddie. This guy's got a Bandcamp account where he posts up a lot of his beats. He's seriously, I mean, we missed his Sencho question weeks ago when he asked, does he like to listen to, beers? Does he like to have a beer while he's on a boat? I mean, Eddie's always been a gifted producer, but these beats on his Bandcamp is just phenomenal. It really is. Like, I just can't get enough of this shit. Like, I like to jam out to it while I'm at work. So, so shout out to Eddie Dustmites. I know he still listens. Unlike Mickey Brave, who apparently doesn't like listening to us anymore. So, no, I'm starting shit. That's bullshit. He never talks about us, period. But speaking about talking about things...
that felt like an unnecessary way to make things awkward, but all right.
Yeah, I know, right? Awkward boner.
God, it's like fucking Thanksgiving at my mom's house all over again.
But speaking of Thanksgiving, being thankful, we finally have a premiere date for the Netflix War for Cybertron show. And that is July 30th.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that finally. Obviously with all the quarantine stuff going on and stuff, it was hard for them to get everyone where they needed to be to make this happen. I am looking forward to this. So for a few reasons. One, it's, I know the Prime trilogy wasn't exactly the best animated show. But I gave every series a shot. And I also watch him and try to promote him because my friend Jason Martrona is the voice actor for Megatron in those series as well as this one. He's a former, he's not a former, I'm probably sure he still produces on YouTube by the name of Lord Jazer. He was best known for his Mark Hamill impression of doing the Joker. So, and he took time out of his busy schedule years ago to be able to voice the Joker for me in one of my old promos for Ocala Comic Con back when they were first starting. So, if you guys are interested in what a lot of us talked about in the podcast years ago about getting an adult-themed Transformer show that isn't like RID or the Cyberverse cartoons, I think this is going to be it, and I really hope this is a success. What do you guys think about this?
I mean, I'll obviously give it a chance. I guess my problem is I don't know if I necessarily have high standard, like high expectations for it. I don't want to say high standards. I definitely have high standards for it. But it's like one of those things. Like I need to see something that I appreciate, I guess, before I'm like willing to be all in on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's definitely a lot of potential that it's something great, and then there's a lot of potential that it's something disappointing, So, we'll see. I hope it doesn't disappoint. I would love nothing more than to see, like, an actual good Transformers TV show. So.
Right. It's being developed by Rooster Teeth Studios. I believe they're of the Red vs. Blue fame, if I'm correct in that.
Yeah, that is correct. I feel like they did something else, though, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Well, I know they're popular for Death Battle.
Okay.
Which is a big YouTube show where they hire it. They give animators a shot to debut their work as they, pose fictitious battles between very popular comic characters in pop culture. The way I see it, the way I'm told, I believe it's separated in 3 parts, right? It's War for Cybertron Siege, then it's got to be Earthrise, and then, of course, the third one's yet to be named. It's got to be the third trilogy of this figure line that we have going on right now. Mm-hmm. I believe it's slated for the first one. Siege is going to be slated for 6 episodes at 22-minute runtime. I believe it's 22 minutes. I'm not sure. I read another article this morning. That's why I added it to the notes. But I'm really looking forward to it. Really looking to see how the take is going to be. They're including characters like Alita 1 in this. They're
Alita 1.
First trailer. Alita 1, the lady. It's a fembot. So we're going to be seeing a lot of. I don't know. I hope it's going to be good. I want it to be really good.
Yeah, I mean, I think I want that too. Like, I mean, anything that's good fiction is good for the franchise at this point. So I do hope that it's a success. I hope it's a great show, but we'll see.
All right.
Yeah.
So right on. Yeah.
I hope so. I'm cautiously optimistic. So.
Hey, you got a bite on your post, Oscar?
I saw. We're gonna have to think about that one. But well, for those listening, I put a post. I'm looking for an MP Hound, but some prices are a little. I don't know what it would be. I'm still thinking about it. But moving on to things canceled in 2020 because of COVID-19. TF gone Chicago. No, I'm kidding. I was just saying that. I'm trying to be edgy. Moving on to third party, we actually have full color test shot images of Fans Hobby MB16A Machine Eagle. It's a Machine Wars Optimus Prime figure.
So this looks cool. I mean, like we saw it, we pretty much knew this was gonna come since they put Thunder Clash out, right? Like, right. So we knew this was gonna come. It's cool. I think it's neat. I would like to see the head more. Like, it's kind of hard to see. It almost looks like the combined robot kind of looks too Optimus to me. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see when we see a better picture.
I believe the past few photos I've seen, he's got to have the mouthpiece. Like, he's not going to have like a full face like his Machine Wars predecessor did. Because the Machine Wars was just a straight redeco of Thunderclash, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. So, I mean, I've seen some of the postings on like the Chosen Prime and Big Bad Toy Store. I mean, it looks good, I might be interested. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I was even interested in Thunderclash. The problem is like it's very expensive for this mold.
Yeah.
You know, and like I don't know if I'm so into it that I'm like, yeah, I need to have this and the Power Master Optimus Prime, because it is just Power Master Prime. You know, like if it was different, I guess I might be more into it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like left me feeling like not super excited about it just because it's nothing new, you know? It's just different graphics on the side for the most part. So.
Right. I mean, I would have jumped on the Thunderclash, except for the fact that I have the MMC. Thank you to Andrew Gort, who sold me his a few months back. I'm very happy with it. I don't have the need for it, but I mean, as far as like a Machine Wars Optimus Prime, you know, it's like I think I'm gonna watch a few reviews first before I dedicate myself to anything.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you that like it is like at least their Power Master Prime is a pretty solid toy. Like it's well made, you know. It's a shame that they didn't send out replacement like hips for the people who bought V1, since V2 apparently has better hips, but you know.
Oh, do you have that, Justin, or no?
Yeah, I have the Power Master Prime. He's good.
Yeah, version 1 or version 2?
Version 1. Version 2 is, from what I understand, like, so if you watched the Apex Armor review I did, like, he can't even support his own weight, you know? So, like, he just right to the ground, and, yeah, I was like, but it's a good toy.
Yeah.
It's just got
the Prime looked good.
I
know on the Chosen Prime, they still have the Nemesis Prime Power Baser available in stock. So, Greg, what do you think of this?
I'm with Justin. Everything Justin said. Like, I don't care enough to spend that much on this. Like, I would rather take that money and get a reward, which I'm going to do.
Same.
But yeah, it's okay. I mean, it is what it is. I'm sure there's someone who cares.
All right. So I guess we could just move on to the next one. It is Kang Toys CT Chayu 03 Fermentment G1. It's their take on G1 Divebomb.
That was my favorite.
All right, Matt.
That was my favorite thing ever. I'm sorry.
What?
Just like it's their take on this.
Yeah. Fuck it.
Like the attempts and then the final, like, whatever, I give up. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at this, looking at Ferocious and then looking at their version of Tantrum, looking at Divebomb here, I'm really getting shades of like the days back when MMC was releasing theirs. You remember?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
it's pretty cool. I like it. Like I almost was tempted to get the previous one. I'm like, it does look cool, but it's very stylized, and like I just don't know if it fits my collection.
It looks like nothing stylized about it. It looks like a fucking Gundam.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. So, and you know, and like it's cool. It is, I don't know if it really works for my collection per se.
Right.
But like I've heard nothing but good things about these toys. Like, so I mean, you know, I almost was persuaded, but then I had to remind myself that like this is not really something I need. So I'll just keep holding out for that eventual, like, real G1 looking version.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck this thing. This is garbage. And I'll have the first one Friday.
You have the first one coming Friday, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to let me know how you like it. Like, from all reports, everybody says it's good. Like, Robert gushes about it, like, so I don't think you'll be disappointed overall.
Did he break his? I can't remember.
No, he broke his side swipe.
Yeah, okay, it wasn't this. So
I figure there's about a
50-50
chance, yeah.
Any given day, you never know what Robert's actually broken.
Yeah,
it's a true story.
All right, well, I guess we're done with that. We're moving on to the next bit of news here. It's a Utopia upgrade kit for earthrise grapple. Now, I put this on here because this seemed interesting. I've been seeing a lot of these surface on eBay. And I'm told that the ones on eBay are in fact knockoffs. So essentially, what this, yeah, like everyone I've seen talk about these, the ones you see on eBay for like $20 or something like that, that doesn't have the Utopia name are just knockoffs. Someone like bought it and then reproduced it, and that's why they're all out there. Yeah.
Okay.
But what?
No, I just said okay.
Oh.
And
But
so these are just like little filler bits for.
Yep, for the waffles.
How dare they knock off some fucking filler pieces?
Yeah, that's a little tough. I guess I can see it if you had the like made that hinge mechanism and someone else did it, but like it's not exactly like it's like rocket science here. So I don't know. It's tough to say whether I would buy into feeling like it was actually knocked off. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, that seems like a whole lot of trouble when the retail's just as good. You know what I mean?
I mean, I like that it fills in the holes. Like I've seen an impactor set running around, and that looks really sweet too. I think it does. I think it helps the Hasbro product a bit if the waffle bits really bother you.
Oh yeah,
you know,
definitely.
like I joked to myself, like I wonder if they're gonna even try this for Double Dealer. Yeah, so I just figured this seemed neat. There's a bunch of Utopia sets coming out, but I just put in the one for grapple because there was that whole ordeal. Like, yo, why are you scalping all the grapples? But
I hope Fans Hobby makes a Double Dealer.
That'd be pretty sweet, actually.
Yeah. Or a double
Someone
plotter.
needs to make a good Double Dealer. Like, there's enough people that I think really like that character that by now you should have someone actually making a good attempt at it. So
I mean, you think they would, right? I mean, even Fans Project made a freaking quick switch.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, that quick switch.
All right, next one up next is the Xtransbots 3-ways. Basically, the 4-way I should have named it because you get 4 Andrus figures in this new wave because they repainted it and they re-released the infamous Scourge packs. You get troop build if you're willing to pump in about $400, which isn't really a bad price, providing you're getting 4 of these big guys.
And they remolded or they redid the foot, I guess.
So I have to buy 4 of these guys? I can't just buy one?
No, they have them individual.
Okay.
They are up for pre-order in a Chosen Prime as an individual piece. I believe it's like $120 or something like that for it.
Okay. That's not bad because I feel like I could use a Scourge, but I definitely don't need 4 of them.
Is it?
I think it's like $155 or something. I think it's with the MSRP on them. Yeah. I think it's pretty pricey. I saw it on a Asian site. Someone said it was listed. It was listed on my Prime. It's for like $120, and then the shipping on it was gonna make it the same price. Yeah, basically it's just a reissue of the same deals they did before, just with metallic paint and a different foot.
Well, I mean,
that's cool.
For those that missed out the first time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I believe when he came out before originally, like Xtransbots was still trying to. Yeah, he's 174, Justin. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that, Greg. Thank you for that input.
Oh no! I wasn't trying to. I just wanted to. I wanted to say it before we got like 50 comments and messages to the Facebook page and
50 comments, messages to the Facebook page. Crimson Raptor PMing me on Instagram telling me I'm wrong again about something. That's why I purposely say some of the stupidest shit in the world. But I love you, Crimson. It's cool.
I'm tired of reading about it on the truck stop Bathroom Mall.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, man. Like I was, these seem nice, but I don't know. I mean, they look really sharp. They look really not like KFC sharp, but really, really sharp. $400 for 4. That's something to think
I would most
about.
definitely consider it, you know. So, but I mean, not for 4. I just want one. So.
Yeah, my only problem really with the figure was, like, it kind of looked, with the paint on it, it kind of looked cheaper than it was. Like, it looked like it was going to be a piece of shit, and it really wasn't.
Right.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just.
And they did a Cyclonus too, right?
Yeah. And then
Is that
they
the
did
one that had issues, or
what issues?
No, never mind. I'm confusing it with Apollyon.
Pretty much everything's had issues. It's like all of those figures that came out around then had issues.
One comes with a Ghost Starscream set.
Yeah, the Cyclonus they put out, people were having an issue getting a piece to clip in around the cockpit without shaving it down.
Right.
And it was the worst thing ever. And then the Fans Toys Cyclonus had an issue getting everything lined up without sanding a piece down.
You got to get us hate mail. The Fans Toys fanboys are going to come after us.
I'm already.
Oh no, I'm just saying. I'm just laying out the. The fuck was that? Bean, I told you could get up on the bed yourself.
As a Fans Toys fanboy, I'm already writing my email.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He's emailing us from his own email. Dear Shattered Cast.
Idiots on the cast.
Mom, I need another Hot Pocket. How dare you insult Fans Toys? You're far more marketable and reputable than Chikara. You son of a bitch. This is why no one listens to you anymore. And that shark bit is fucking stupid.
Hey,
truly, Justin, what?
More like shatter crap.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on.
Or you get that one install going.
That's what I was going for. How do you do it?
Oh.
What
was the name of that cartoon dog? Mugsley?
Oh. No, I was thinking about something a little bit more recent than that. I'll explain it to you later. I'm just gonna type one word.
Okay, you do that.
I gotta find it.
And here's one I'm interested in. I am curious of
You're funny, Greg.
What people think about this. This is Lemon Tree Toys LT04 Blueberry. It's their Bumblebee movie Soundwave.
Chuck Sale.
So I'm curious as to what this guy is gonna. I mean, shoot, they haven't even released their Shockwave yet, have they?
I don't think they've released anything.
The Shockwave is in B scale, and all of these are Chuck scale, Studio Series scale.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Prime's like 6 inches.
I mean, the Soundwave looks like the Soundwave from the movie, you know, except my beef is his hands are a little small, but I guess that was his design. But it looks good, except for the hands, you know, it looks good. Them feet.
Yeah. Does he have big childbirth and hips? I can't see it. I'm not looking at the picture.
He got them. Yeah. He got them big hips. He got them big old hips.
He's got some show accurate hips. He's okay.
I mean, if they pull it off, more power to them.
Yeah.
When did Robert say his internet was going out? When did he first say that?
It's been a while now.
That 3 hours?
Something like that, yeah.
He had enough internet to make a stupid. What kind of display is that? Comment on the Detox pic on Facebook that he can't get on the show.
It's a commitment.
Mommy has sacrificed that boy.
Yeah.
To the great beyond, the old
To Keith for a free junkie hunt. Yeah, the old ones. Yeah, that's it. Keith.
Oh, Keith.
Good old Spider Keith. Your old pal Spider Keith. All right, I got this picture. I don't think it's his hands are necessarily small. I just think everything else is kind of big. I know that sounds stupid, but like he seems kind of bloated.
Mm-hmm. Does this thing transform at all?
Yeah, turns into a car, I think, right? Oh, maybe not. Yeah, I mean, all their other figures transform. I would assume this one does. I just turned into a boombox or something. I don't know. I don't see any decisive robot kibble. I see some transformation junk and hinges and whatnot, but I don't see any.
Yeah, no alt mode pics have been uploaded yet.
I bet you there's something hidden in them calves and inside the somewhere. That's probably why it's so puffy. Because it looks like, where's the picture of his back? Because Ravage fits in there, but if you look at picture number 8, that looks like some hinging is going to be going on with that middle piece in the back.
Yep, looks like there is definitely. I wouldn't be surprised if he transforms into like a
telephone pole.
Yeah, or something like that.
Well, if you look at the same picture, look at his ass. It looks like that's gonna split and maybe come up on the side. So maybe he'll fold up into some kind of a. I don't know. Maybe he'll have some sort of a broadcast mode, or maybe that'll split up, and then the legs will unfold into the back of some sort of a vehicle.
Like he has a lot of detail on his mouth plate.
Mm-hmm.
It almost looks like their teeth.
Would you say he's got a pretty mouth?
No, he does not have a pretty mouth.
He looks like Rampage from Beast Wars.
Yep. He sure does. He really does, especially if you look at image number 1 and just zoom in on it.
Mm-hmm.
That is a very rampagey face.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Oh, yeah, this looks like shit. Yep, I am no longer interested in this fucking figure.
I don't think it looks like shit. I think it looks fine. I'm not into it. I don't do the scale.
Hard no.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hard pass for me. No, I think it looks fine, but it's just not my thing. So it's okay. Doesn't have to be.
Instead of like him sounding like Soundwave reject, he's just gonna be like Soundwave Ravage reject.
Well, he was voiced. Well, never mind.
Yeah. You know. Then...
Wicca. Speaking of Soundwave,
there's under our statues section we have a official licensed Transformers and Q-Tix Soundwave vinyl bust.
It's kind of cute if you into that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think it's neat. I like the gold chain and the disc jockey. Oh yeah. I just figured I had this. I thought it looked dope.
Oh yeah. I totally would have bought this as a no-brainer if it wasn't for that totally stupid price. What is it, like $10? No.
It's got to be at $249, which includes free worldwide shipping.
For 6 inches, 6 by 8.5. Yeah, that's a little much. That's a little much.
Yep. So I guess actually we now have, now that we covered stature news, we now have listener questions.
There was something I didn't put in here because I don't know about putting videos, but here I'll put a link. Just it's actually probably third-party news, but I posted a link and I'm not going to post a link. I posted a link in our normal chat, and then I'll just go drag it out to put it in the notes later. But there's an interesting video, very, very well-produced video about the design company that has done work for. They're working on the there's Kang Predacons, and it looks like, from what I gather, they did the Seacons for TFC, and there's a whole bunch of other shit. But there's a whole video about them doing it. I don't know if anybody watched it. I posted the clip like 3 a.m. But
yeah, I may have missed it.
Yeah, we'll just throw it in there. There's nothing really to talk. I mean, I don't know the freaking talk about some Chinese guys like working on molds and sitting around a table and going over PowerPoints and doing 3D modeling. Looks very professional. One's like I worked for the Hasbro mold production department for 22 years. There's subtitles. Yeah. It's worth a Google.
Yeah.
Or just follow the link.
We'll leave a link in the show notes for those listening on Podbean or even on I almost said HBO, YouTube.
We really hit it big.
Yeah.
HBO.
Oh man, we made it to HBO.
Hey, I heard you make movies for HBO.
Say what?
I heard you make movies for HBO.
What kind of movies?
I don't know. Remember the old commercials when HBO was first starting, and they'd be like at a swanky '80s bar or like '80s cocktail party, and it's like, "So, Peter, how's it been going?" "All right, Bill. Heard you hit it big. So I heard you make movies for HBO." Yeah.
Why did I picture like a guy with a 1980s feathered haircut, sports?
Because that's exactly what the fuck it is. With the blue, it's a little long. The bar is like weirdly lit from inside.
Oh boy.
Here, I'll find it. I'll find the one I'm thinking of.
All right, so now we're gonna do some listener questions. This one here has caught my attention by Mr. Calum Truitt. Mr. Truitt asks, now that the cast is actually considering buying Bayverse items, how far do you think you've all fallen? Is it basically rock bottom?
I don't recall ever agreeing to that. So, I'm going to say no, that I'm not anywhere close to rock bottom, but then at the same time, I am not looking for any Bayverse items at this point in time. So, I don't know. I think the people who are in the Bayverse have always kind of been there. Like, Robert has not really hidden the fact that he likes, what's the one that came out, the lockdown? What was his name?
Perico?
No. Oh, yeah, Peru Crew. Yeah. Sorry. I heard something else. So I was like, no, that doesn't sound right to me. But, yeah, exactly. So, Robert has not been shy about the fact that he likes that figure. So, I don't really think it's changed. Like, I think that the cast is always, certain members of the cast have always been into the movie bots. So, yeah, it's just not for me.
Especially Matthew.
Oh, especially Matthew. Yeah.
Especially Matthew.
I've been buying some. I don't think having a little diversity in your taste and not necessarily buying what everybody else is buying at the time means you've hit rock bottom. I think it, well,
But doesn't
I think it builds character. I mean, I guess.
It builds character.
Let me ask a couple of people, and I'll get back with you. I'll get back to you with an answer on how I feel.
Well, as someone who's bought both the main Hasbro line, mostly Dark of the Moon, and some of the Revenge of the Fallen, because I like the engineering in those. I don't think I've fallen that well. I love seeing that it's for better lack of the word, it's their time to shine, more or less, right? I'm glad that it's being focused because the generation that grew up watching the Bayverse movies are growing up. You know, they're starting to have their own source of disposable income. So, you know, stuff like the Constructicon set I think is neat, but it's not really up my alley. I loved Peru Kill when I had him. I had to sell mine, unfortunately. I thought he was a great movie figure. I love the movie Masterpiece figures. I love the Optimus Prime. I love the Bumblebee. I think the Bumblebee's great. Really, I think the Bumblebee's one of the best ones out there. I'm contemplating getting the Jazz to see what's going on there.
Yeah, Jazz is pretty good.
And then, you know, the Starscream is meh. You know, like, I'm not that big of a fan of the character. Like, honestly, like, oh, God. No, but, I mean, that if you're a fan of the character, especially that version of the character, then it's right up your alley. But you could once that drops, you could probably get that leader class Starscream, which is probably just as good for like a fraction of that price. You know, and Greg, you had the leader class Starscream.
A long time ago, yeah.
Yeah, back when we first met, bud.
Yeah, bud. It's a good figure.
Right.
I used to have it too.
So, you know, that's what I think of that.
Yeah, I definitely not say anybody's really hit rock bottom or feels like they hit rock bottom because, like, you know, like, I think, like, I could see you making the argument if there was, like, people who, like, if we've always been a group of people who's never been interested in it, and then, like, you see, like, Robert making a bunch of purchases, like Robert, well, let's use Bobby for an example. Let's say Bobby was, like, because he's very anti-Beast Wars, right? Like, Bobby's not a fan of Beast Wars, and everybody knows that, and then, like, if Bobby was like, well, there's nothing else to buy, I guess I'm going to go buy a whole bunch of Beast Wars, then, like, I feel like it could be that way. But, like I said, like, Robert's always kind of picked up the movie stuff. Matt definitely has. Greg has, you know, like, you have. I've checked it out. I think it's cool and, like, contemplated getting it because there was a time that I was more into just picking up whatever was kind of cool and not necessarily like, oh, my collection must have this thing. But, yeah.
Wait. I just thought of a good way to put it in perspective. It's not that more people are buying Beast Wars, instead there's more tests available, so the numbers are spiking.
That's fair.
God damn it. God fucking damn it. Here's a good one from there's a really good and honest question, but I believe Justin Lynette has a good one. What is your least favorite piece in your collection, and why is it Fans Project City Commander?
That's pretty funny. My least favorite piece? I gotta think about that for a second.
I'll answer it while you're thinking. I don't have a least favorite piece. All my pieces are good. Fantastic. Like, seriously. No, if I had to say something, I did end up getting rid of him a while ago. It was that specialty pack that Toys R Us had. It was the Siege on Velocitron.
Yeah.
It's the one that came with Quick Switch, but he was retooled and redecoed out of the 6-shot mold. That, like, because I don't know, man. Like, I was like, when the fuck was this dude? Like, was he like he's not a rhino. He was a wolf also, I believe.
No, he was a rhino.
He was a rhino?
Brother.
Yeah. So, like, I was just like, wow, when did this come from? Like, I don't recall him having this beast mode and all that stuff. But it's like when they did six Night, right? When Takara redecoed him into 6 Night, if I'm saying that correctly, his name.
Yep, you are.
That one actually worked. But the quick shot, the quick switch wasn't. It wasn't my thing, man. Like, I was, like, even the G2 Optimus Prime, in my opinion, in that set was better than that piece, and that was supposed to be like the leader class figure of the set, you know. So, and then of course the very hard to find one now is Nautica from that gift set. So there's that. But there's 2 more questions I want us to answer. One from Gary Allen.
My least favorite.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Did you, Greg?
Go ahead.
Nope.
Go for it.
Just Oscar. Just Oscar. He was the only one that answered. Let's
Oscar's
move on.
like, we're moving on.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Greg. You go.
Oh no, you go ahead.
Okay, so I mean, I've got a lot of things that I would not consider like great things that I own, but like, it's hard for me to just be like, okay, well, this Hasbro thing was less than impressive when I got it, because like, you know, like everybody kind of knows that like Energon, Unicron, like that era stuff was not so great, right? So I'm not going to go ahead and say that stuff, but what I am going to throw out there is the the MMC, the Azalea. Like, I love the memory I have with that figure, because it was like the TF Con, you know, where I met like everybody on the cast except Oscar. He was not at that TF Con, I don't believe. No. You were at the next one, I believe. Yeah. And like, but like, I fucking hate that toy. Like, it's not fun to transform. It's just like the head just pops off. Like any time you try to get it there, I'm like, no, this is just not a fun figure. But like, it's also one that I have like a very hard time being like, it's time for you to go, because like the memories of getting that figure kind of almost make it worthwhile. You know what I mean? So.
It's like the Rock 5.
Exactly. It's exactly like Rock 5, who I also have in my collection still. So.
Yep. Greg?
Well, first of all, before I answer, I was wrong. 6 Night in Quick Switch was a Puma. It was a great shot. That was the Rhino. So,
okay.
Yeah. I was wrong.
Well, we already were corrected before you got to it, Greg. Good job. So.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Someone's already typed away.
You can backspace. You can backspace. I got the final laugh because you have to delete your comment before you post it.
It's not going to.
You won't tell me what to do, Mr. Ford Mercy. What kind of last name is that anyway? Piece of shit.
Least favorite Transformer that I have still. I got rid of a lot of the ones I didn't care for. Honestly, I'm not really. When I thought of that, I guess it's the first thing that pops in your mind is probably the best answer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the first thing you think of. That Zeta Bruticus is I'm kind of, like, out of everything I have, I'm just thinking about it, like, I have to kind of lean him against the wall. And, like, he's not really fun to play with, because if you try to manipulate him, he just pops all apart.
The Zeta one?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I got an issue with mine. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, mine's fine. My
Superion's fine.
Granted, I haven't messed with it for a while, so maybe it's a piece of shit and it's falling apart at this point, but it was fine.
Yeah.
Shout out guys to. Go ahead.
It's not like there's not like random shards of plastic flying out and putting my grandma's eyeball out or anything, but like, I mean, it's definitely got its.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where, like, if one thing starts to go, then it's like a chain reaction. And it always ends with that tread falling off at some point of Brawl. Like, at some point, their Brawl tread's going to fall off. But I can't think of anything I really dislike that I have right now. I'm sure there's probably something, but I can't think of anything right off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
That's a total piece of garbage that I still own. There's plenty of stuff that I've had. Obviously, I think we all have, but man, why does he hate City Commander so much?
I don't know. I'm reminded of, like,
he does know it's not. He does know it's not 2011 anymore, right? Like, that thing's, like, dated. I mean, it's not, like, meant to be the same standard as, yeah.
I always like the City Commander mold, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I liked all 20 of them.
Yeah. It's actually a figure that I have not completely got rid of either. Like, I've got a couple of the city commanders hanging around. So
I just remember when it came out and all the fuss was like, quickly get a classic Ultra Magnus.
oh yeah,
And now you have a updated Ultra Magnus. And you transformed it to, the trailer truck. So, I mean, I never had it. I had it, but I ended up selling it like weeks later because it just wasn't the oof that I wanted. Same thing with that and like and the Rodimus add-on kit to make Rodimus Prime. But
Protector.
Yeah, there we go. That was it.
yeah, I still have that too. It's okay.
But
I think
you
it was.
have the
I liked
Protector.
how unique it was back in the day to try to come up with that transforming armor and stuff to go on the figure. Like, I mean, you're kind of limited when the figure's not really designed for armor, so like you have to kind of figure out a way to make it work. So I applaud them for that. I think it was a good venture. Like I have no problem with it, but we've definitely like kind of knock on it now. It's kind of like I feel like you're like beating up a retarded kid, like just not right. Like you can't. That's not even the right word, right? Like I'm supposed to say like mentally challenged. Is that the proper word? I don't even know anymore. But
well, there's actually not really a term retarded.
Yeah.
Like that's not even
I know
a thing.
So, but you know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't feel like it's like you're going to the Special Olympics and being like, look how those people run. Like that's just, like it's not right.
The language used by T2RX6 does not reflect
that of the members of Shattercast Uncut. Please
Yes,
send
this is
all
true.
hate mail to youtube.com/user/T2RX6.
Please
Thank
do.
you.
So,
Threaten to report his knockoff reviews.
yeah, it's fine.
I
Send me
remember
to
that shit.
I've heard it.
police.
All right, so here's a pretty good question from Gary Allen. How has your collecting evolved? I don't mean the normal discussion of buying more expensive or more elite type items, but how have your habits and interests changed? Do you focus more on your display? Have you shifted genres, G1, Movieverse, comics, creative style lines? Have you tried new lines, and have you kept with them? I'm curious where your interests currently lie, and if you're surprised, whether you get the most enjoyment from. I'll let you guys answer this first.
So for me, it's definitely like I said, back in the day, I used to be into pretty much like I'm like, oh, I wanna check that out. Oh, I want to check that out. Like any figure that came out, I was all for checking it out, and like like whether I really cared about where they came from or not, it was like I need to check that out. And like as I've kind of gone on, I'm like I really don't need to do that. Like that's just kind of a waste of my money, and in the end I have all this stuff, like especially like when you start running out of room for stuff too, you're just like, why do I have all this stuff that I really don't care about? So like I've been definitely a lot more selective, which is probably why I said that perceived like in the beginning of the show, like, oh, it's like it's a drought, there's nothing out there to get. Like, well, there is, it's just not stuff that I'm really super interested in buying, so
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, totally understand. Greg?
We're talking just Transformers here.
Yeah.
I've been going. Actually, let me reread the question because I was thinking we were talking about all toys. This might change my answer. Oscar, you go ahead. I'll finish it up. I'll come in from the rear, as you like to say.
That's right. Excuse me as I adjust myself. As far as my collecting has evolved, it's weird at first when I got back really, really heavy into it well over 10 years ago. It was all like, oh, I gotta get as much as this character's representation as possible and all that stuff. And so I mean, as time's gone on, I went from like, okay, Hasbro only stuff, only legit stuff, to like, oh, I'll just get knockoffs because they're fucking cheaper, to it's changed a lot. It's almost pseudo chaotic. But I mean, there was a while where I only collected, oddly enough, like only Voyager and Leader class figures because they were bigger, And I thought there was a lot more work put into those designs and stuff like that. But as years gone on, I went from like, okay, no more Hasbro, only third party and strictly only third party. And then I noticed how expensive that got and how I really didn't like a lot of the stuff that came out. I didn't understand people's excitement for certain things, you know? Like I'll never forget one of my first conversations with Bobby was about like the Fans Project, Stunnicon set. I forget that guy's name.
Bobby, you just said it.
The Intimidator.
Yeah. Pretty funny, Greg.
You know, my first conversation with him is when like they announced a Legends class Swerve at a convention, and I was like, "Oh, I salute you," and you know, Bobby retorted back with, "Oh, I salute you," and then we had a back and forth where it's like, dude, like, you can't tell me these are worthy investments when they're fucking breaking on people, and that was back when Wild Rider was like busting that tab on his back. Then it happened to me. You know, but even then I still bid on and kept trucking on, and I bought a lot of third-party only stuff because the scale was bigger and they felt meatier and all that stuff. Now it's like definitely I have to be blown away by their prototype picks because thankfully the day and age of fucking silhouettes is done. I mean, thank God they don't do that shit no more. But now it's like
LTF gone, and then they release it. So.
Yeah, so thankfully that age is gone. So I mean, like now it's like I could get a good look at what's coming out, what it's looking like, and you know, like we went over Kang's toys, Divebomb, and my first thought was that looks like a Gundam. Not that I have anything against Gundams per se, but it looks like a legit Gundam. You know,
the
like
fucking ninjas outside of your window are like resheathing their swords and drawing back into the shadows right now.
He may live. But you know, I don't know. It just really has to speak to me. Like the Red Bull sideswipe, that spoke to me. Like I thought that was really neat. Like okay, here's a take on a very popular character, but in a different setting. It's no longer like it's not a steamroll from Bad Cube, but in fact, it's the guy transforms into a actual Red Bull. You know,
it's a type of steamroll.
Say what?
I said it's a type of steamroll.
But you know,
you find in Cleveland.
Stop. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing with like the Generation toys, like Protectobots. Like, yeah, I have the Prometheus, I believe his name was, from TFC set. I'm not selling him anytime soon. There's a lot of sentimental value attached to that, but you know, like they weren't MP scale, they were Chug. You know, so now with the Generation toy line, it's like, okay, I'm really interested in completing this, being my first third-party combiner, not including the one I got recently from Justin, that I got from scratch. You know, the reason why I lost interest in them was because they were taking so long to fucking release their other limbs. They finally did it, and now it's just a waiting game for Hotspot to come out so I can finish that set and have a full-fledged MP scale Defensor, and I think it's going to look great. So, I mean, I mean, I don't, like, when it comes to my collection style evolving, and went from like perfect, you know, favorite character. Well, it went from buying everything that I could come across to collecting just my favorite character to, you know, only being significant to only buying third party to like, you know, giving the domestic brand a shot because they're actually putting in work, especially with the earthrise line. To now it's like, you know what, it's the way I feel like I should have been collecting all these years is what speaks to me, what tells me like, yeah, I need to have that. You know, what's going to make me sit there and watch a 40-minute fucking YouTube review on a figure? You know, if the figure's that interesting and I could watch a 40-minute video on YouTube, then I think my investment's got to be worth it. All right, Greg, your turn.
Okay. I never bought. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Not you.
Well, now I feel I feel like I was tricked. I'm not happy with you, Greg. I gotta go. Goodbye.
Okay. Bye. All right. That was our show. I'm kind of glad that I'm wrapping up with the G1 stuff because, like, now that I know that, like, I mean, there's still a couple of things I'm surprised we haven't seen, but there is an option for pretty much everything I want now.
Yep.
So I can go back and grab, like, if it never happens, if I just need to get like 2 things to finish off, I can go back and grab them. And then I can explore like, like movieverse stuff, like that question about the Bayverse stuff earlier. Like, I got the Masterpiece Bumblebee when he came out. I got the Optimus Prime when he came out, and then I got rid of him because I didn't know. And then I skipped Fruit Kill because I didn't know where that was going to go. But now that I see that, like, I'm going to have more choices to pick from, and things are getting a little better. You know, you can get a core. I'm obviously not going to get like the toaster bot and all that, but I can get like some basic ones and just have representation of the era.
Still got my
same
wheelie.
thing. The same thing. Oh man, I wish somebody would make a fucking wheelie. Make a movieverse wheelie. Motorized would be cool. With lights. And free ice cream. Fuck, where was I? Sorry, I'm sitting in the dark, so I'm getting like distracted by shadows and whatever. The same thing with like the Japanese stuff. Like I wasn't sure because the only thing we have was Fans Hobby putting out like they put out the Power Baser, and then I was like, well, are they really going to make more stuff? But now it looks like, you know, they are. They're going to at least make. They've got Overlord, the God Bomber set, the Minerva, Shuda. They got to do Cab. I can't imagine they won't do the Headmaster Juniors at least.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And now that,
no-brainer.
yeah. So and now that I'm not like, you know, I'm not stretching, like I'm not being stretched, you know, trying to buy like 50 G1 characters. Now I can like go back and like, you know, kind of grab some of that stuff as it's coming out, and not have to worry about like 15 Springers and, you know, 6 Cyclonuses and 3 Devastators and, you know, whatnot. And then I can explore other things too, like the G.I. Joe stuff. Like Star Wars, the Star Wars Hasbro stuff isn't bad. I pick and choose the Star Wars just because I don't need 50 different troopers, and I don't need like all the background characters and stuff. But like the G.I. Joe stuff, like it's pretty strong, and it's looking like at least for the first 2 waves that I'll be picking up every one of those figures, and not feel bad about it because they're good. They're not just standing there. Like I can actually like mess around with them. Like half the Star Wars shit I get, like I'll pose it or just stand it there and just leave it alone. Even though I love Star Wars probably more than I do anything else, fiction-wise. And then with the He-Man stuff coming out, the He-Man origin stuff.
Yep.
You know, I feel like I can spread out to that. I got a little leeway with ordering some of that stuff, and you know, I have to prioritize. Am I going to get that, or am I going to get 3 different hotspots, or 3 different Infernos rather? So yeah, I mean, I welcome the slowdown. It's not so much of a slowdown as it is, I think, just a completion of G1 stuff, and I don't mind the stylized stuff too. Like I'm going to give the Spreading a shot, and we'll see. I mean, it's not ideal, but I didn't really plan on doing a whole lot of stuff past the movie anyway. So, you know, if he's good, he's good. He'll be fun. If he's not, then I'll get rid of him. I don't know. I just kind of rambled there. Sorry. I'm getting to that point I was talking about before the show where
No, we understand.
Everything I'm taking starting to affect me. So I'm starting to kind of crash. But yeah, words and things and plastic guns.
Choom, pew pew.
Free bird.
Roll Tide.
Also, I'm gonna try to perfect making silicone molds. I'm very interested in that, and I just need things to cast because I suck at sculpting things. But once I can work out that part of it, I'm gonna invest some resources and some time into doing that.
You could probably start with those G.I. Joe heads.
Maybe.
Seriously.
Or like background pieces, like make like slap something together and just make a mold of it, so I have a solid casted piece, and make like some. I just have to look at the cost too, because some of that stuff's expensive. I have to see how much I get out of it and everything. But,
Buying the stuff that makes a mold could be about like $40, I want to say.
I mean, I know how much it is, but as far as like production and like turning out pieces like for my own personal use, and then like finding something that works. Like I don't want to buy a whole bunch of shit. I don't want to drop, like I don't want to buy like a little test or like a little sampler, like 2-pound container of resin, and then turn around and buy a gallon bucket of it, and then turn around and have issues with it, and then I'm out that whole $100 gallon bucket. Like I'm just trying to, I don't want to get stuck with a lot of bullshit in my hands. Yeah, I mean, I already know what I'm going to use for the molds. We've been watching we found a really good YouTube channel that I talk about all the time, and it's very informative without being too technical. It's the Craftsman. If anybody wants to look him up.
Nice.
Okay.
The Craftsman, steady craft.
Craftsman.
The Craftsman. Yep. Merca.
Roll Tide.
But it's not at all. This week's episode was making beats in electronic music using like little electronic sequencers and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's all sorts of stuff.
Okay. Well, on that note, I want to thank everyone for listening. So as always, you can check us out on Facebook.com/ShatteredCast, as well as hit us up at ShatteredCast Online. That's our email, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. It's somebody's email.
ShattercastOnline@gmail.com.
Not ours, it was taken by someone else and we forgot. So.
Yep. So ShattercastOnline@gmail.com. As always, you could also check out our friends over at the Cool Table, my good friends over at the ROC. Oh, be sure to check out our good friend Matthew Deluxe Creamy Legend Baldwin for just uploading his own YouTube videos. We wish him a lot of luck at his new job. We miss him like crazy. We can't wait to have him back at least for one episode to pop in and be like, hey, everybody, live and direct with us. As well as check out our good friends over at Toy Detox, of course, Nerd Rage Radio. So on behalf of me and everyone else here on Shadowcast Uncut, for the sake of Primus, please collect responsibly. Be good to yourself and each other.
And if you could just stop talking, Chip, that would be great.
That would be fantastic. Thank you for listening, everyone. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye. We love you.
Good night.